It's somebody stand that way. Oh, yo, what's your Mexican at? She's a sellout.
Man, we gonna protect Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shah, man. We gonna stand up for the Lord, man. We on the Lord's side, man. If you coming against the Lord, you will get put to death. Thus said the Lord, man.
Alright, first and foremost, I'm going to start off by saying, Kal Halayim La, Allah Hayinawa, Abanawa, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakak Wadash. Double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and shalom to the hopeful elect. Alright, so I'm going to be bringing out here some precepts, alright, on the topic of debating or no debating. Okay, so as we know, a specific situation happened recently in Chicago with another camp that we just watched in the beginning of this video that I played, that goes by Watchmen for Israel, okay, or WFI for short, which we like to call Wi-Fi or whatever. But they were recently in a very dumb and stupid situation that did not need to take place, okay, or could have at least been handled differently, all right, as we saw in the video that I started off this lesson with. Okay, I did screen record that from an elders page as well, but the point is the situation did not need to happen. Okay, they handled the situation very poorly and could have caused all sorts of problems, you know, such as the ministry getting blamed. Okay, even though they don't speak the 100% truth, but it could have affected all of us involved in this ministry in a negative way. Okay, the correct way to handle the situation those men were in was to simply not show up. Okay, to not show up to whatever rally the Palestinians were having, or even so they were there. So while they were there, at least the second situation would to be simply to just leave. Okay, you do not need to sit there and provoke situations that could lead to a strife or a fucking brawl, okay, or an argument, when you could simply avoid it and leave. Mainly not show up. Okay, and really another thing, if they really would have just shut the fuck up, that also could have possibly avoided the situation, or at least make sure that it have not gone the way that it did. Okay, the Wi-Fi camp definitely handled that situation poorly, but as me and my were saying at camp a couple of days ago, that it's okay that they did that. All right, it was the Lord that created that, and it was the Lord that gave us an example of what not to do, and also really confounded that group. Okay, the Lord is not working with that WFI camp, all right, as you could clearly tell by their actions. Okay, so to start off this lesson, we're going to jump to the book of Proverbs, chapter 20 and verse 3. Okay, Proverbs 20 and 3. It is an honor for a man to cease from strife, but every fool will be meddling. Okay, I got this precept, matter of fact, from Apostle Gabar, from one of his hiking lessons that he's been doing recently. Okay, and this precept, as he said, is really a cold cut to all types of strifes or arguments. Okay, really, we can end the whole lesson right there. Boom. All right, but as you can see, it is an honor for a man to cease from strife. All right, meaning it's honorable to avoid that type of shit, or don't even get into that. Okay, a man is trying to get up with you and you diffuse or all around avoid the issue, that's being honorable. Okay, as we could see, what did Watchmen for Israel do? They completely ignored all thoughts, all right, and got into a brawl with a group of rallying Palestinians, okay, which was completely going off. All right, But as it continues to say, but every fool will be meddling. All right, meaning a fool is gonna get into that. A fool is gonna provoke or say, oh, I'm not a hoe, and get into some type of situation again. All right, which is going off. All right, only that's a fool's type of mindset. All right, but this goes to show that Watchmen for Israel doesn't have the spirit on them. All right, they didn't follow what Yahushua would have done, and they went off. It goes to show again that they are fools, along with anyone else who has that mindset, of getting into strifes or having that macho man pride or mindset on them. Okay, but next we're gonna jump to the book of John, chapter 18. Scroll on down, we're gonna get verse 36. Okay, this is John chapter 18 and verse 36. Yahushua answered, my kingdom is not of this world. If my kingdom were of this world, then would my servants fight, that I should not be delivered to the Jews, but now is my kingdom not from hence. Okay, if my kingdom were of this world, then would my servants fight. This is not Yahushua's kingdom right now, is it? No, it's not. We have no business to be out here getting into brawls or fights or even arguments with people. All right, we are in a spiritual fight, not a carnal fight. All right, which will lead me to one of my next precepts. But why the hell would we be out here fighting in this time when Yahushua said to specifically feed his sheep? Okay, that's all we're here to do. All right, feed his sheep and follow Yahushua to the best of our ability. All right, also, showing our faith. Here it is. We trying to secure our salvation through Yahushua to the best of our ability, Lord willing. And Jake out here getting into a brawl with a nation that was protesting whatever the fuck they was protesting. All right, Jake thinks shit is a game. All right, but that goes to show that they don't have no faith. If you have faith in Yahushua, you would most definitely not even be in that situation. All right, going out there to so-called preach while they were protesting wouldn't have even crossed your mind. If you had the faith, you could have waited till the next day. You could have went out there earlier before they started doing what they was doing. All around, you shouldn't even went out there. All right, but that shows their faith and their mindset. Okay. Next, we're gonna grab 2 Corinthians. It's like that's first, second, chapter 10. We're gonna grab verse 4. Okay. This is 2 Corinthians 10 and 4. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through the Most High to the pulling down of strongholds. Okay, for the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. Okay, only the elect are going to understand that and not be in these carnal situations. Okay, our weapons are spiritual. Our weapon is this truth, the word, through Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Okay, we cut people through our doctrine, through the truth. Okay, you have a problem with us? Okay, great. We're going to keep it pushing. Who cares? You want to come at us with false doctrine and keep going off? Perfect. We're going to rebuke you and cut you with this word. All right, simple. All right, the men of the Lord are not going to sit there and waste their time getting into an argument and try to fight you and get the ministry blame and try to bash this truth into your head. That's not what the men of the Lord are here to do. All right, the whole situation that they were in was carnal. It was a waste of time and super shameful. All right, average Jake could never handle themselves, always doing some stupid shit, being carnal. Okay, goes to show you, that group is not spiritual. Goes to show you that Yahushua is not dealing with them or any like-minded Jake, really. All right, simple. Okay, on to our next precept. We're going to grab Amos chapter 3, verse 3, okay? And this is Amos 3 and 3. Can two walk together except they be agreed? All right, the answer to this precept, plain and simple, is no. All right, on the topic of debating, if you don't agree with someone about something, especially if something as important as this truth, you should not even be hanging around them. Okay? Once they don't get it, wipe the dust off your feet and keep it pushing. All right? We don't have time, especially in these times, to be sitting here trying to persuade people about the truth, okay? Mostly because it's for the elect. So if you're not part of the elect, you're not going to get it anyways. But if they don't get it, and if they don't get it and they don't get it, move on. All right? We cannot walk together if we do not agree or have the same mindset. All right, simple. And nowadays, regardless, if you're not in this truth, you know what I'm saying? We don't want to be nowhere near you regardless. Okay? Next, we're going to grab for our next precept. We're going to grab 2 Timothy chapter 2. And we're going to start at verse 23 on down. Okay? This is 2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 23. But foolish and unlearned questions avoid, knowing that they do gender strifes. Okay? Avoid. That being the main word. Avoid. Okay? Avoid foolish and unlearned questions. Why? Because that they do gender strifes. Okay? The word gender here, all right, is breaking down to cause to arise or excite. All right? Basically meaning start up arguments or provoke them. Okay? Now, the watchmen for Israel weren't answering questions to the Palestinians of my knowledge. To my knowledge, they weren't answering questions and stuff like that, but they were provoking the things that the Palestinians were saying and doing which led unto a strife or a brawl. All right? Basically, therefore, ending up going off and making the ministry look bad. All right? If that situation really blew up, you know what I'm saying, everyone else, especially the Edomites, would have had turned that into a so-called black Hebrew Israelite thing, you know, and try to paint the ministry as some kind of bad thing, or us out here on the highways hedges making it like a violent thing, okay? But continuing, 2 Timothy chapter 2 verse 24. And the servant of the Lord must not strive, but be gentle unto all men, apt to teach, patient. Okay? And the servant of the Lord must not strive. All right, the breakdown of the word strive here means to fight, of armed combats, those who engage hand-to-hand struggle. Okay, and lastly, of those who engage in war of words, to quarrel, wrangle, dispute. Okay, so the word strive here covers everything from physical combat to verbal combat. Okay, basically the servant of the Lord must not fight or argue. All right, plain and simple. WFI failed to do that, claiming to be men of the Lord. Okay, should be an eye-opener right there. Okay, continues to say, but be gentle unto all men. Was watchmen for Israel being gentle unto all men? Of course not. Again, doing the complete opposite. All right, and frankly, they were lucky that the Lord did not lay any of them out truthfully. All right. Continue with the rest of the precept. It goes on to say, apt to teach, patient. They were not being apt to teach or patient. Okay, they were being rambunctious or wild, or however you'd like to call it. Again, not acting as the true men of the Lord would. Okay. Continuing, 2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 25, and meekness instructing those that oppose themselves, if the Most High peradventure will give them repentance to the acknowledging of the truth. Okay, basically, don't respond matching energy with energy. All right, oh, fuck this nigga, so, you gonna respond, oh, nah, fuck this nigga, all right? No, that's only gonna lead unto a strife, all right, an argument or a fight, all right? Give soft answer, and maybe Yahweh Shem Yahushua will change their hearts or their mind, and they actually take heed and start to learn the truth. Okay, the watchmen for Israel did not give that chance. They automatically turned on their inner nigga and caused confusion, all right, strife, and being an example of what not to do when out on the highways and hedges. All right. And you can finish reading off that chapter going on to verse 26, but we're going to move on for this lesson to our next precept. We're going to get the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 8 and verse 16, okay? This is the book of Sirach, chapter 8 and 16. Strive not with an angry man, and go not with him into a solitary place. For blood is as nothing in his sight, and where there is no help, he will overthrow thee. Okay? Strive not with an angry man. The WFI situation wasn't a one-on-one situation. It was a group versus group situation, but you know, they still did the complete opposite as what this scripture here says. Okay, they strived with angry men, leading into a fight, which multiple men getting hurt. All right, luckily not dead, but hurt. All right, one of the Wi-Fi members got one of them dudes got cracked with a bottle of some sort or some shit, and he ended up leaking. All right, he was bleeding. All right. Continuing as the precept says, for blood is as nothing in his sight. All right, and we know those Palestinians definitely had blood on their mind. All right, as we saw, shit, one of them boys was bleeding. Okay, we know the Palestinians were really proud of that. You know, they was really probably like, oh yeah, you know what I'm saying, we got him. We got him good. You know what I'm saying? But the point being, they wouldn't have mind to get down into that situation and probably kill one of those WFI members. Okay, as it continues to say, and where there is no help, he will overthrow thee. Okay, so they lucky it was a group versus group thing, because maybe if it was a one-on-one thing, the Lord might have let one of those so-called Palestinians get up on one of those Wi-Fi members and let them hand Jake judgment. All right, might have let them kill Jake. All right, who knows? As it said in the end of the precept, he will overthrow thee. So really they should count themselves lucky. Okay. Next, we're going to go back to 2 Timothy chapter 2, and we're going to grab verse 16. Okay. 2 Timothy 2 and 16, but shun profane and vain babblings, for they will increase unto more ungodliness. Okay, but shun, the word shun breaking down to avoid or to turn oneself about for the purpose of avoiding something. Okay, so shun profane and vain babblings, meaning ignore, people talking shit. Why? Because they will increase unto more ungodliness. Okay, and Wi-Fi did not do this. They did the opposite. They provoked profane and vain babblings, and what happened? They ended up fighting this group of Palestinians. Okay, you see, this is why you meditate in the scriptures. Okay, this is why the scriptures, the scriptures are always on point, and they always give you guidance. Okay, this precept you can always apply if someone's getting on your nerves or trying to argue with you. Okay, the scriptures are always right. Yahweh Shem Yahushua is always right. And if they were to be meditating in these scriptures like they should, they could have had this precept on their mind, and hey man, they could have acted on it and not been in that situation that they were in. But of course, they ain't do that. Okay, now I'm gonna jump up and get verse 14. I could have did these first, but this is just the order that I found these precepts in my notes and stuff like that. But continuing, this is 2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 14. Of these things put them in remembrance, charging them before the Lord that they strive not about words to no profit, but to the subverting of the hearers. Okay, that they strive not about words to no profit. Okay, don't fight about meaningless sayings or things. All right, going back to the Wi-Fi group, what did they do? They fought about meaningless words or actions. All right, firstly, they shouldn't have been out there where they were, but they were, and they could have at least controlled themselves and ignored the Palestinians and left. All right, simple, just leave. Okay, did they do that? No. All right. And these next couple of precepts that I'm going to grab, I'm going to close out on, okay? So we're going to go on down, or go on up, actually, and we're going to grab... Now I was right down. We're going one book down. We're going to grab the book of Titus, chapter 3, starting at verse 9. Okay? This is Titus chapter 3 and verse 9. But avoid foolish questions and genealogies and contentions and strivings about the law, for they are unprofitable and vain. Okay, but avoid foolish questions, genealogies, contentions, and strivings about the law. Stay away from the bullshit, basically. Okay, foolish questions about the truth, or arguments or strivings about the truth. Just avoid it. Okay, why? Because those are unprofitable and vain. They'll end up having you exactly how Wi-Fi. They'll have you doing exactly what Wi-Fi was out there doing. Okay, entertaining that type of bullshit. All right, those things are a waste of time and not even worth it. All right, of course, those Wi-Fi members did not avoid those things. They fed into those things, leading into something unprofitable and vain. Okay? Continuing, Titus 3 and 10. A man that is an heretic after the first and second admonition reject. Okay, a heretic. Breaking down to, the word heretic is breaking down to fitted or able to take or choose a thing, or a follower of a false doctrine. Okay, a man that follows whatever, all right, that is not in this truth, Christianity, etc. All right, after the first and second admonition reject. All right, meaning, hey, you tell whoever about this truth, you know, the true names of who the Israelites actually are, and they don't want to hear it. You know what I'm saying? And you get into that situation where you tell them 2-3 times, hey, they don't want to hear it, fuck them. All right, reject them. It is what it is, and they're done for. And the Lord most likely has them blinded and has them set up in that lot. So, you know, Lord willing, I'm not of that number. Okay? So, continuing on to verse 11, Titus 3 and 11, knowing that he that is such is subverted and sinneth, being condemned of himself. All right, knowing that he is subverted, okay, meaning perverted or corrupt in doctrine, okay, and sinneth, being condemned of himself. Okay, if you tell him twice and they don't take heed, reject them, because they are perverted and corrupt. Okay, so what can we say about the Watchmen for Israel group? Okay, our apostles and elders of Great Millstone have warned these men multiple times over, and now have been rejected, okay, by our leaders, really through Yahweh Shem Yahushai and like-minded brothers. Okay, of course, the original reject happened a while ago, but, you know, their recent situation, talking about Watchmen for Israel, shows that they are perverted and corrupt, which their other situation with the going against the elders and apostles of Great Millstone on the Mark of the Beast already showed that. But here's just their most recent situation in Chicago of them getting into a brawl with a group of rallying Palestinians is an example, and it shows you that that group is going off. Yahweh Shem Yahushai is not working with them, and they are perverted and corrupt in doctrine. All right, simple. All right, so wrapping things up, all right, we brought out precepts and breakdowns of those precepts on the subject of debating and how debating or strifes are a no-go. Okay, red light. The true men of the Lord will not be involved in these type of things. All right, but truthfully, the Lord is showing us an example of what not to do. All right, in the event of an argument or a disagreement. Okay, so Lord willing, you were edified. I'll be closing out by saying, Call Halayim Law, Allah Hayinawa, Abinawa Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the hopeful elect.